Welcome to all you Pisceans. This is your yearly horoscope for 2021 for the sign of Pisces, sun, moon, or rising sign. And not too long video, but there are a couple of things that I find quite interesting for the Pisceans. I'm going to talk about two things. First of all, which is going to be mostly significant for the Pisceans, is the nodes, of course. The nodes have been shifted into Gemini and Sagittarius, and that is fellow mutable signs, just like you. Therefore, more important for you. Now, the other signs that are going to feel this is the fixed signs, which is the square between Saturn and Uranus. That is the most important aspect that is going on for 2021. A lot of astrologers will be talking about that. But for you Pisceans, this is not that intense for you because it's not happening in the key areas of your life. So yeah, ultimately, I'm not going to say nothing's going to happen because every single individual has a single individual horoscope. But it's certainly not the year where the biggest changes are happening. That is happening when outer planets are entering, in your case, the mutable signs. So, but let's get started with the nodes. So the North node is in Gemini and the South node is in Sagittarius. Now, this is a key area of your life, and the North node always shows where we need to focus on. If we want to grow the fastest, we need to focus on the North node because there is where the expansion is. And for you, it's the bottom of your horoscope. It's your fourth house. So a lot of people know the fourth house, okay, that's our home, but it's also your emotions, your emotional security is the fourth house. Now, so the universe is almost saying like, okay, when you're still working, for instance, the South node, which is the opposite, is in the 10th house of your work in Sagittarius. You need to put your focus a little bit less towards work and career and a bit more towards your emotional feelings. You're feeling good about yourself, feeling good and coming at home with yourself first and foremost. That's a bit what the universe is trying to tell you. No, it doesn't mean that you have to leave your job or that you don't have to work anymore. Of course not. It just means a bit of a mental focus towards making it happen and making things real, which is Gemini, when it comes to your emotions. So, absolutely, I love this energy, although it is, of course, squaring up to your sign, so not always easy. But you can develop a lot of emotional strength if you had in the past like emotional being up and down and not focusing enough on your emotions, and the emotional setup needs to be reseen, rebuilt, so to speak, with the North node going into your fourth house. That's on a deeper level. I start with the deepest level. Normally, you should start with the level on the surface, which is home and so on. But anyways, you'll understand. You're a Piscean. And but what I'm trying to say is there is an opportunity for the Pisceans to have more emotional stability, and that is a beautiful thing. Can also simply mean indeed that you can move, that you can look for a new home, and that you're gonna leave an old job, for instance, for a new home and then start all over again, or even working from home. For some of you, that can be applicable. But whatever it is, also because Mercury is going to be in a conjunction, of course, also together with this retrograde. That is, of course, every planet is going to, in the year, aspect this North node. But the planet that goes retrograde, which means it's staying there for a longer time, is going to be around May time, June time. Then the Mercury goes backwards in Gemini there in that fourth house. So that could mean indeed that you're thinking a lot about maybe a new home, a different home, working from home, or you working more on your emotional security and on the work-life balance, and putting a bit more effort on the family, so to speak. So that's the main thing when it comes to the nodes. Another thing we cannot forget, of course, is Neptune. Neptune is still, as last year, in your first house. So for all the Pisceans, it means even being more empathic, even being more compassionate towards others. But also the pitfall is not knowing what you want, not knowing what you're all about. You know, Neptune in the first house is not easy to have an identity, because it's like a bit of a chameleon there. When you are with people with Neptune in your first house, you adapt. You kind of almost take over their dialect, for instance, or their behaviors, just to be merging with that other person. It's not always bad, because that can help you when you're doing some businesses and you want to know the needs of your clients. This is really cool because you know exactly what they want. It's not so nice when you have forgotten what you want and what your needs are. So that's a bit of a point that can be a bit stressful every now and then. But as you are a Piscean, you kind of swim through these energies. The Pisceans who are going to feel this the most are going to be the Pisceans who've got planets between 18 and 23 degrees of Pisces. So these are the ones who were born between like the 9th to 10th of the month up until the 14th of the month of March. So you're going to feel Neptune very strong there. So stay with the feet on the ground, surrounding yourself by friends that you trust and that you've been knowing for a long time, and consult them, listen to them, because you are a bit more prone to just only seeing what you want to see or adapting so quickly. Pisces in itself is already a sign that adapts very easily, but with Neptune there, it can get a little bit complicated there. So hold your boundaries there as well. Talking about boundaries, where is Saturn here? Saturn is in your 12th house. In ancient astrology, they say it's in its joy in the 12th house, because Saturn is structure and the 12th house is a very unconscious house. So Saturn has arrived here in your 12th house, which is a bit of a cleanup, so to speak. It's like preparing itself to get into your sign, which will be not between, it's certainly not this year. When is it gonna be? I'm a Virgo, so I want to know, of course. Is it gonna be 2023? I guess Saturn in your sign, and then the really big restructure is coming for you there. Yes, it's going to be 2023. But anyway, Saturn in your 12th is a lot about cleaning out the closet, doing some cleaning up there in your unconscious, making a little bit of structure there. So that Saturn clashes with Uranus. Again, for you, that's going to be more intense for the fixed sign. But for you, you have Uranus in your 3rd house, which is about your communication style. So your communication style can, you want it to be more freer, more honest. Uranus in the 3rd house is honest speech. Or you could have siblings or neighbors doing weird stuff with Uranus there in the 3rd house. But also renewal in communication, good for internet, good for if you want to launch a website, if you want to launch a YouTube channel. Uranus in the 3rd, magnetic, very interesting. But as I said, it clashes with Saturn in your 12th house. So on an unconscious level, you can block yourself a little bit because of that. So let's say, for instance, you want to start something, 3rd house, in a new style of communication. On an unconscious level, you don't know why you are a bit fearful towards that. But the thing is, it's happening at the same time. When Saturn is with Uranus, you need to do both. You need to timeshare. You can't do the new without the old. You can't do the old without the new. So yes, as Uranus is stronger than Saturn, Uranus will develop new developments in your 3rd house of communication, of siblings, of even marketing, if you work into that area, marketing, communicating, traveling as well. I know it's a weird time now, but anyways, writing, teaching astrology, learning astrology. Uranus in the third house, but Saturn can block you and say, this is a bit weird, you know, old patterns that you're busy to restructure, busy to, you know, the chaff from the wheat, doing that process there. All of this is not really life changing, I know, but so a lot of astrologers are going to talk about the Saturn-Uranus square, but as I said, for you, it's a bit peanuts, really. It's a bit peanuts, really. The more important thing for you is to develop that emotional stability, which is that North Node in your fourth house. So, all in all, interesting year, not the most life-changing year for you, but it doesn't always have to. When it comes to relationships, be careful that you keep the feet on the ground. Know that you might not appear very clear to other people. You know, your opposite sign is Virgo, and they might say, oh, what's going on with having Neptune in your sign? So, but you will have compassion for that and patience for that to explain. For those of you, you know, in the relationship, starting new relationships, don't be too idealistic. You know, if you don't expect too much, it's a bit better, so to speak, if you take little steps, so to speak, in relationships. You still have Pluto in your 11th house, the same as last year. So transformational experiences with friends, or friends could be in an important stage of their life and changing a lot. It could be really relationships, friendships, that are not working for you anymore. It's no time to put everything under the carpet. That's not possible anymore with Pluto there. It's going to put light at the shadow. But what it can mean is very influential friends, very powerful friends. And you can learn from their own transformations. You learn from them yourself. Yeah, and with work, I just said it, you know, with work, yeah, there is a bit more emphasis on, are you happy? Are you emotionally fulfilled? And work can be related with that as well, but you've got time with the eclipses to make some adjustments there, maybe going away from an old job to get more emotional security, to be more emotionally content, and not so much status and the materialism, so to speak. Anyways, having said that, I wish you a very good year, dear Pisceans. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye-bye.